Hello and happy Monday. Hello, and happy Monday. I am pumped to have our Monday's Q&A back again. For those of you who are catching us for the first time, my name is Susanna Briscoe-Alba, and I am the lead career strategist at Dunamis Coaching and Consulting Services. And we are live in a couple of places. We are live on IG, we are live on YouTube, on Facebook, and we are live on LinkedIn. So I hope that you are having the most amazing day when you catch this up and through here. If this is your first time joining us for Monday's Q&A, would you drop a 1 in the chat and let me know where you are joining us from? If this is your first time joining us, tell me where you're joining from. Drop a 1 in the chat, okay? And if this is not your first time joining us, if you've been around and you've been a member of our community, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat and let me know where you are joining from. If this is not your first time, if you are not new to this, but you are true to this, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat and let me know where you are watching from. So on Mondays, I go live to answer the questions that y'all submitted via the form that I dropped yesterday. And so today, that's what we're going to spend some time focusing on in terms of what are some of your questions, what you would like for me to answer. And so many of you sent some questions over to me, and I see that you are joining us in the chat, and I want to be mindful of making sure that I answer your questions in real time. So for those of you who are dropping 2s, can you help me to welcome the ones that are in the building? For those of you who are dropping 2s, can you help me to welcome the ones that are in the building? And hey, friend, how you been? So let's get into subject matter material. I have my computer on this side so that I can answer your questions in real time. And like that, you and I can all connect. I love to see it. I love to see that you guys are in the building. If you are watching me on IG, I have added one of our strategists as a moderator. So if I miss your question, she will help me to help moderate the chat. All right. Her name is Sharice Buchanan, and she is one of our strategists on our team. So let's get into subject matter material. My name again is Susanna Briscoe-Alba, and I am going to be answering your questions in real time. So one of the questions that came in from our inbox says the following. If I know the salary range for a position and the recruiter or hiring manager presses and asks, what compensation amount am I seeking? Is it okay to say the top amount of the range? So the question is, I know what the salary range is, and I want the highest amount. Should I say that to the hiring manager or the recruiter? And my response to you is going to be no, my love. I don't encourage you to ask for the highest amount right off the bat. And there's 2 reasons why. The first reason that I would say not to ask for the highest amount is because if you are already coming in at the highest point, then that means that you're going to be bored in this role, number one. And number 2, we're not going to be able to give you compensation or recognize you for your work if you're already at the high end of the range. Okay, so if you know what the salary ranges are for the positions that you are interviewing for, and they're asking you for what is your salary requirement for said position, I'm going to encourage you to make sure that you have your own personal ranges. Make sure that you have your own personal ranges, because that will help you to fall within the sweet spot of where you want to be. Now, with our clients, we teach them to have ranges, and we have labels for each of those ranges. The first is going to be your weight number. So what is the number that you are going to just kind of sit this one out? What is going to be your walk number? So if they give you a certain percentage or a certain amount, will you walk away from the current role that you're in and pursue something better, or pursue the position that you're interviewing for? And what is your run number? What is the number that if they say that and that's the package that they give you, will you run to said position? So weight, walk, run are the 3 that you should be paying attention to. and you should know where you fall within the ranges that you are looking for. Typically, when I share that, people are like, I don't know what the range is, so I don't know what my weight, walk, run number would be. There are a couple places that you can check out to get that type of information. One of the places that I recommend clients look at, or my followers to look at, is levels.fyi. And if you go to the most recent post that I shared today on Instagram, I give you 3 places that you can start to look at information surrounding salary and that kind of thing. Now, important disclaimer here that I want to share. There's about 900K of you that follow me on IG, and there's about another 3,000 to 4,000 of y'all that follow me on LinkedIn. It's important that you know that this is going to be it's going to be imperative that you know the area and the region in which you live in. So for me, I'm based out of the United States. So a lot of the information that I'm sharing with you is going to be information that I've researched and looked at and personally used based off of the US job market. So if you are not in the US, please consider what are your resources and what are some of the areas that you can get good information surrounding salary and salary expectation. Okay. When in doubt, GTS. Okay. When in doubt, GTS. So if you're following me, whether you're following me on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, I want you to type GTS in the chat. Okay, because GTS is going to be across the board. So I want you to type GTS in the chat. If you're following me and you want to know, I want to know that you are paying attention, I want you to type GTS in the chat. Okay. I'm going to tell you what GTS stands for, and y'all are probably going to be like, this woman is too much. But when in doubt, whether you are in the US or any place else, you're going to GTS. And GTS simply stands for Google that stuff. Okay? Google that stuff. A lot of people, especially job seekers, miss an opportunity with how much information is available to you through Google. You can do your job searches through Google. You can search for salary information through Google. Okay, so GTS. There should be no reason why you feel like you are unprepared or don't have enough information. GTS, Google that stuff. The more informed you are, the more you can make an informed decision when it's around salary. All right. So if you're with me, I want you to type got it. If you got what I said about salaries, your weight, walk, run number, and GTS, I want you to type got it in the chat. Okay. And I'm going to move on to the next question. If this is your first time watching me, baby, I'm going to encourage you to have something to take notes with, because during these lives, each of them kind of feel like a masterclass, and I want to make sure that you don't miss anything because I talk fast and I hope you're not listening slow. Okay, friend? So make sure you have something to take notes with. Okay. Next question that I got. This is a good one, especially because there's a lot of transition, reorganizations that are happening. And this individual said, my entire team left and the execs are leaving too. I'm fulfilling my duties as well as other roles. My raise has been put off and I spoke up about it, only for it to be discussed at a later time. I've taken the experience to learn and sharpen my skills, but I feel perhaps that I'm being taken advantage of. What is a good measure to know when or if to walk away? Okay. What is a good measure to know when or if to walk away? Okay, so this person, just to summarize their question, they're going through a lot of transformation at their organization. Their team and the execs are also leaving, and they've spoken up about asking for a raise, and no one is responding to them about said raise. If you have not started to update your resume, friend, I would encourage you to start there, because when a company is in the middle of a restructuring or a reorganization or all these other things, they are going to push this salary conversation or this promotion conversation as far out as possible when they're in the middle of focusing in a restructuring. So my encouragement to you is to make sure that you are preparing your personal branding documents, your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn, to reflect all of the skills that you've learned and all of the things that you are currently doing and the impact that you've made. Somebody type impact in the chat. I am PACT. Somebody type impact in the chat, because I want you to be very well aware of. I don't want you to tell me just the functions that you do on your resume. I want you to give me the impact that you've done, especially in this type of environment when there is a whole lot going on in the market. Especially, like, again, because I'm based out of the US, that's kind of what I am looking at. But a lot of these companies are in the middle of restructuring, and it's leaving you kind of in the what do I do now? I want you to focus on your impact over your job function and make sure that your resume is as up to date as possible. Okay. Your resume should not be something that you think about once every 10 years or once every time you get fed up and now you're ready to update your resume. It should be a living and breathing document that evolves the same way that you do. So if you are in this situation where they've been telling you all of the things and they keep pushing back having this salary conversation, you have now acquired new skills that are likely transferable, and you need to make sure that those are displayed accurately so that you can put that on your resume. Because if you're not putting that type of information on your resume, then you're leaving a lot of space for speculation or guessing to a hiring manager and or recruiter. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're very specific on what you are putting on your resume if this is the situation that you're in. Shameless plug. We had a resume bootcamp that took place last week. And because we had technical difficulties, we are running that bootcamp again. So if you want to join us for the resume bootcamp that is taking place this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to comment the word join, JOIN. If you want to join us for the resume bootcamp that is taking place this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you want to comment the word join, JOIN, because what will happen is that my assistant, Susanna the bot, will send you the link for you to be able to register for that event. During that event, let me tell you what happens. During that event, I'm going to be reviewing resumes in real time. I'm going to be looking at job impact over job function. And I'm also going to be providing you with a resume template. So like that, you can leverage the template and you can start applying immediately. So I want to make sure that this is working. Okay. Because here's what has happened for folks who have joined us at the Resume Bootcamp. So I'm going to read to you what someone sent over to us not too long ago about what they experienced when they attended the Resume Bootcamp. So this person attended a Resume Bootcamp with us not too long ago. And she was able not only to submit her resume and update her resume, she got 4 job offers and made it through several interview rounds. So I'm going to tell you what she did. So she participated in the resume bootcamp. She had to go through 10 interviews. I don't recommend that, but our friend did it. And she got multiple offers. She got an offer as early as of yesterday, and now she's making more money, almost double what she was making before, doing less work. Okay. So that's what happens when you attend the resume bootcamp. It is practical, nonsensical information that I'm going to be giving you. So like that, you can run the play. Okay. Run the play. You're going to get the workbook for the bootcamp, and you're also going to get a template that you can use ASAP Rocky. So like that, you are able to apply in real time. If you're watching me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, I'm going to drop the link for y'all so that y'all can register for that. Join. Okay. So LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, I just dropped the link for y'all to join us. But if you are on IG and you comment the word join, Susanna the bot is going to send you the link to register. Now listen, okay? You, at any point in your career, are going to have to make an investment of your time, an investment of your money, or both things. The Resume Bootcamp is $40, 40. And we have people who are making double, almost triple that. They're making like 600 times that when they attend this Resume Bootcamp. So if $40 is a lot for you right now, I totally understand. But imagine what $40 can do for you once you've updated all of your documentation and you land yourself in a better position. Notice how I'm telling you how to update your documentation, not that I'm promising you that you're going to end up in your dream job. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts about that. And maybe at another live, I will share that. But if you are in a season right now where you are being like pushed off, or they keep promising you something and they keep moving the goalpost, my love, if you're trying to figure out when do I move, now is the time for you to move, because nothing is certain. There's nothing that says that now that you've acquired all of these skills and now that you've done your job above and beyond, that they're going to recompense you for that they're going to pay you for that. They might just say, you know what, it's cheaper to keep her where she's at or where he's at, because they've learned how to do all the things and they're kind of happy at their pay. And let's throw them a bone and increase their salary by 3 to 5%, right? An increase of 3 to 5% is likely going to be anywhere between 50 cents to $2 in your paycheck. And the last time I checked in the United States, there's not that much that $2 can get you. I'm just saying. So let's pay attention, okay? So if you are in a place like our friend here who submitted this question, and you're trying to figure out what's a good measure, how do I decide whether I stay or I go? The best way is when you have leverage. And by leverage, I mean having offers that you can say, hey, listen, I really want to stay here, but company X and company Y are offering me this. Could you meet this and I'll stay? Or now you're in a place where you have the opportunity to decide between offers. And for many people, they're just like, oh, Susanna, that doesn't happen for me. I don't get multiple offers. I wish I could show you my DMs of tribe members of ours who have attended this event. And they're like, I have 2 or 3 offers and now I need to go listen to your lives on negotiation because I didn't think I would get 1 and now I have 2 and I don't know how to decide. It is a very real thing. But if this is going to work for you, you have to take ownership of your career. Don't let these people play in your face. Don't let them play in your face. Okay? Because what you want to make sure of is that you don't feel that you're taking advantage of, that you're being taken advantage of. Okay. So to our friend who asked that question, sweetheart, I hope that answered your question. It is time for you to identify what are some of your transferable skills that you can apply either to another company or another industry, and then start to update your documents. Okay. All right. So I think y'all got it. If you got it, I want you to type got it. LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. If you got it, I want you to type got it. Okay. Because I don't want you to miss that. And I think that for a lot of us, we have a warped sense of loyalty, in that we think that if I stay loyal, then they will see how much work I'm doing and automatically pay me for all of this work that I'm doing above and beyond. Okay. If I just put my head down and do my work, someone will notice and they'll take notice of that and they'll move me into this position. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to do that for you, my love. You have to be willing to work loudly. And I think when I say that, some folks confuse it by saying loudly in terms of just speaking loudly. That's not what I want for you. I don't want you to speak loudly. I want you to be able to articulate your value from a place of power. And so if you are waiting for someone else to come and notice for you or notice the work that you're doing, you have effectively given up your power seat. You've placed more power in the hands of someone else than the individual who is doing the work. This is why I tell you that when you go into an interview, do not allow or do not put the interviewers on a pedestal. And I think that, again, because we have this warped sense of loyalty, there are moments where we feel as if the interviewers are better than us in some way. Honey, they started the same way that you did. And so at this point, what I want you to switch in your mind is that I want you to come from a place of power and a place of value instead of waiting for someone else to notice the work that you're doing. Okay? Because you didn't come too far. You didn't come this far just to come this far. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Okay? And y'all, I love y'all to the moon and back. I'm a preacher's daughter, and like once I get into teaching, I get into it. so, so I don't want to go into preaching and teaching. I just want to be able to give you practicality in terms of what to do in this type of in this type of market. Because again, it can really mess with your mind, and if you're not thinking through your next move, and thinking through making your next move effective, you will effectively talk yourself out of an opportunity. And I don't mean to come for some of y'all's business, but some of y'all are really talking yourself out of an opportunity big time. Like so much so where you don't even apply for certain positions because the title has you like, oh, I'm kind of scared. I'm not ready for that, Susanna. And it's like, you already doing the work. What you mean you're not ready for it? Make it make sense. But at some point, I'm going to talk about the 3 fears that I see a lot of job seekers fall into. And these are very valid fears. These are very real, tangible things that can feel very overwhelming. And if you're not aware of what those fears are, you'll just kind of work yourself in a hamster wheel. Has anybody been there where you feel like you're stuck in a hamster wheel? You're talking like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, but you're not getting any much of a different result. Okay. The dictionary tells me that that's insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I'm here to break that for you, my love, because I don't want you to be operating from a place of insanity. I want you to be operating from a place of power. Okay. All right. That was really long. Again, if you're new and you just joined us, comment the word join. We're running the Resume Bootcamp again on Wednesday, the 18th, I believe. Yes, Wednesday, the 18th of this month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you comment the word join on IG, Susanna the bot will send you the link for you to be able to register. If you already joined us or you had technical difficulties at the last Resume Bootcamp, you can email us at info@susannaalba.co and send us a copy of your purchase receipt, and we'll let you come back to the Resume Bootcamp, okay? Because what we're not going to do is not serve you well. Okay, we are going to take care of you. So if you purchased for last time and you ran into some of our technical difficulties, that's not your fault. You did everything you were supposed to do. Just email us at info@susannaalba.co and send us a copy of your purchase receipt, and we will send you what you need in order to join us for the next one. Okay. To my moderator, Sharice, my love, if you can put that in that email address in the chat, that would be really helpful for our people. Okay. Moving on to the next question. If this is helpful for y'all, can y'all drop a gem in the chat? If this has been already so helpful for y'all, can you drop a gem in the chat? Because I want to make sure that you're picking up what I'm putting down, and I'm not trying to waste your time. If you're watching me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, I am dropping the link for you again, my friends, to join us at the Resume Bootcamp that is taking place this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, I just dropped the link for y'all so like that you can join us, okay? All right, y'all are getting the gems. Beautiful. All right, we got one more question. Well, we have a whole bunch of them. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. We have a whole bunch. So the next question that I got is, I've noticed a position I applied for 7 months ago is still open, but their system won't let me reapply. Would it be appropriate to reach out to the hiring manager on LinkedIn, mention my updated resume and portfolio, and attach them? Absolutely. So our friend here mentioned that they applied for a role 7 months ago. Uh, the role is still vacant, and they're asking, should I reach out to the hiring manager and share my updated resume and portfolio? Yes, that's what I mean about loud working, about taking ownership. I would have some questions surrounding why the position is still open even after 7 months. But if it is still a viable role for you, and you are genuinely interested in the role, I would absolutely say that you can reach out to the hiring manager for that, and share your documents, your resume and your portfolio. And I know who sent this question, and my love, your resume is A1 because we worked on it together. So yes, sweetheart, you have all of the tools. Definitely reach out to the hiring manager, leverage some of the tools that you and I have worked on together, so like that you can send them the information. All right, let's see, next question that I got. Ooh, okay. So this question is surrounding AI, and what services you should be paying for when it comes to your career search. Okay, so let's level set. Let's level set. So 10 years ago, applying for a job, you would have gone to like a job board, submitted your application, uploaded your resume, sent it over, and hopefully they would have called you or given you some type of information surrounding where you stand as a candidate. And that's it, right? Like short, sweet, easy. It's not like that anymore. And I think that we can all agree that it's not like that. It's very cutthroat. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of well educated, well prepared folks who are in the market right now who are looking for a new opportunity. And so I can totally understand the frustration that many of you are feeling and sensing. And the reason that I can totally understand that is because when we get you on a consultation call, we can hear that in your voice. Okay, so when it comes, if you are the DIY type of individual and you're like, okay, what services can I use to help me in this type of process? The first thing that I'm going to suggest to you, and I'm going to read the question before I give you my response. So the question is, in addition to networking to finding a job, is it worthwhile to pay for AI services that will help apply to jobs on your behalf? I have very mixed feelings around having someone else apply for a position for you through an AI bot. Okay. I have very mixed feelings around that because, much like we as hiring managers have leveraged AI and applicant tracking systems, the AI is going to be looking for a good match based off of the information that you feed it. Okay. So if you are feeding it information based off of where you are right now, the AI is going to find positions for you similar to what you're in right now. So before you pay for a service, make sure that you can identify where is it that you want to go? Like, what is it that you want to do? And that you've trained the bot well so that it's not applying for the same rigmarole positions that likely you are overqualified for. So I'm not opposed to you paying for AI services to help you on your job search and help them submit applications for you. I just want you to be wise about what is the information that you're sharing So like that, you can get the highest opportunity or the maximum amount of service. So one of the questions that I get a lot, especially as it relates to LinkedIn, is do I pay for LinkedIn Premium? I do not. I don't. Um, I have leveraged other AI tools that I've invested in that I find better than LinkedIn Premium. I'm just being real. So you can if you want to. That's the 1000% choice. That's up to you. But I don't think that it is a requirement for you to invest in that type of tool. The other options that are out there that you could leverage are probably going to be the same price, if not more cost effective. But anything where they're going to submit an application for you, I would want to see more data surrounding that. That's number one. And number two, I would want to see what is the success in them submitting those applications for the amount of money that you'll be investing. So I'm not naive to knowing that if you make that investment, it's likely going to take at least 3 months for you to be able to see enough data in terms of, am I getting interviews? Am I getting more interviews that I'm getting rejections? Am I getting offers? Am I having meaningful conversations, or is it more of the same? That's number one. And number two, have I given the AI the right information for the roles that I want to go into? And the reason that I say that is because, again, many of us are applying from what we are currently doing, knowing that we don't want to do that anymore. So if you've not paid attention to that, then that AI bot is going to apply to the same types of positions because it's looking for match. It's not going to assess your skill. It's not going to assess whether or not you have the qualifications uh, to move up or apply to positions up above what you're settling for. So there's a little bit of internal work that you need to do if you're going to leverage the AI to sound like you and to think like you. Okay. And the reason that I also share that is because, again, we see a lot of resumes, and I can see the resumes that people have run through Chat GPT, copy and pasted, and sent that out. Baby, that ain't it. Okay? We don't want you to do that. We do not want you to do that. So just before you make the investment, I guess GTS, and make sure it's worth your coin. That's all. Let's see. All right, I think I got through. Okay, so this person, their question is that they're launching their own business. Hey now, okay. But in the meantime, they are working an in-between job to pay the bills. Love that. Do I need to completely revamp my resume to reflect the particular positions I am applying for, which have nothing to do with nutritional coaching, and have a separate one that is focused on my nutritional certifications? So if you have a bunch of certain like nutritional certifications and you're applying for positions that don't have anything to do with nutrition, um, I would have like several questions. Why are you applying to those roles? One, and two, is it relevant? Like, is the skill that you have acquired in running your own business relevant to the positions that you're applying for? So an example of this is folks have asked, like, I have a side hustle. Should I put my side hustle on my resume? Depending on what you have going on. So I've shared this example before. I applied for a position where they were looking for a director of marketing, specifically someone who was very good with social media and could build engagement and retention and crowd, right? Because they were trying to grow their social media presence. Well, before I went full time into my business, I had done that with my Instagram platform. When I applied for that position, I think I was at maybe 50K in terms of following. So I labeled myself as a social media manager, and then I put in all my transferable skills. I understood how to leverage Canva. I understood how to leverage AI to create captions. I understood the importance of keeping your reels down between 60 seconds to 90 seconds to make sure that it made sense. And those were the things that I put on my resume. I did not give myself the title of CEO and founder because of bias. Okay. I did not talk about leveraging things that were outside of the world of social media. So do I have Excel spreadsheet skills? I do. Can I give a PowerPoint presentation? Absolutely. Do I know how to leverage Word? Yes. But those to me were givens if I was applying for a director of marketing role. Like you need to know, like that's fun, like foundational pieces. Like if I'm hiring you for that position, I'm assuming you already know how to do that. So because I wanted to maximize the amount of space on my resume, because I don't want my resume to be 4 pages, I was very strategic with what information I was sharing and what impact I was sharing that was relevant to a marketing position. So I spoke about how I was able to grow my account from 0 to 50,000 followers and what that looked like. See how that's impact over job function. So if you're in a place where you are launching your own business and you're trying to grow in that way, I would say speak to what is relevant to the positions that you are applying for based off of what you're doing in your nutritional coaching business. So when you're launching your business and you're a business of one, you are the vice president of marketing, you are the CFO, you are the what is it, you are the operations lead, you're the sales team, like you're all of those people. So you have to be able to speak to your transferable skills based off of that. So I hope that answered the question. Okay. Dolores says, in a few applications, I've noticed a button that reads something similar to, do you want your resume reviewed by AI, with a checkbox response? What are your thoughts on that? I think that the more that we go into the growth of AI, the more that you're going to see that type of behavior, which is why you want to be able to train AI tools to sound and talk like you instead of just spitting out whatever comes out the first time. Because most times you don't talk like that. That's first. And secondly, when you get in front of a hiring manager and or recruiter, there's going to be some discrepancies between who's sitting in front of me and the person that I read about on paper. And so if I have hundreds of applications and I call you for an interview and it feels like a waste of time because who I met on paper and who I have in front of me don't match, I'm likely not going to select that candidate. So if you're going to leverage AI, make sure that you've trained it so that it sounds like you to a degree, and to a degree, it'll pull information like you would. I think a lot of people are afraid of AI. Oh my God, AI is going to take over all these other things. It will, but there needs to be human beings that are training the AI. So that's a skill. That's a skill. Make sure that you're optimizing that as much as possible. The other question that I got, let me see. I have questions on IG. How do you list your education on your resume if you didn't get a degree? I have all the credits, but need one more class to graduate. So I would say if you are working towards a degree, you can put in progress. So you can say what type of degree you're working towards. And in that case, I would also be specific towards specific coursework if it's relevant to the position. So you can include it in that way. Or the other option is to wait until you've gotten the degree and then list it. Question here is, I'm an independent contractor and I would like to negotiate a new rate. What would be the best approach and language to use? I feel like I need a little bit more information for this question, but if you are an independent contractor and let's say you're working with private clients, I would start to do some research surrounding what is the going rate right now for the product or service that you offer. What are the tangible, valuable takeaways that your client will take? And then don't price yourself just based off of price, but instead off of value. And here's an example. If we were shopping together, right? So if we were shopping together and you came across a Louis Vuitton bag and the bag was $25, tell me what would you think in the chat? If we were shopping together and you came across a bag that was $25, a Louis Vuitton bag for $25, tell me what would you think? I'm waiting to see what y'all say because I have a whole lot of thoughts. There's a whole lot. Yeah, exactly. So some of you would be like, that's a dupe. Some of y'all are saying it's a knockoff. Another folk would be like, what's wrong with it? Like, what's happening? Somebody said it's fake, right? So if we only go off of price, then that's the only thing that people will always think about. So I'm going to have Susanna do it because she's the cheapest. And so if you're an independent contractor, I want you to use this language, especially if you're trying to figure out like, how do I charge for this? There's really only 3 options when it comes to providing a service. It can be done fast, it can be done cheap, or it can be done good, right? So if you want fast and good, it's not going to be cheap. Right? If you want cheap and good, it's not going to be fast. So you have to think through, if I'm an independent contractor, where on that paradigm do I want to fall? Do I always want to be cheap? Because if it's always going to be about cheap, somebody said counterfeit. If it's always going to be about cheap, then you're probably not going to have the right type of client that you want to deal with. So focus more on value. And I feel like that is applicable to those of you who are not independent contractors. If it's going to be fast and it's going to be done well, it's not going to be cheap. That's the type of mentality that I want you to think about. Because you're not cheap. Okay? I'm not cheap. Some of the most expensive things that I own are the degrees that I've acquired. So before you come at me expecting me to give you my services at a cheap rate, let's talk about the money that was invested for me to get this type of degree to offer said service. If I were offering you something, especially as it surrounds career and career knowledge, and I've never done it, nor do I have the credentials to back it up, as I see some folks here online, you would be like, well, hold on a second. Before I give this person my hard-earned coin, make it make sense, right? So you want to make sure that you're not always thinking on just number. What is the value that you are bringing, whether you are an independent contractor or you are an employee? Okay. So when you're trying to think through rate, think through what is the value that I'm bringing, what has been the time that I have invested to get or acquire this skill so that I can produce a product at a high quality. That's why I offer things to y'all. Like, there's a bunch of information on my page that if you start to apply some of these things, it's free. Absolutely. You can start applying some of this stuff right now. Then there's a different price point. The Resume Bootcamp is $40. There's a reason why I offer it at that rate. Because I know that if you give me $40 and you give me 90 minutes of your time, it can significantly transform your life. And then we offer services where you can meet with our career strategists. Because I know that if you give them 60 minutes of your time, these women that you are working with have oodles of years of experience in reading resumes, hiring people, managing teams, giving you strategic insight into what it is to go into the C-suite. I can't give that to you for $25. Like, you'd be like, what? If McDonald's decided that tomorrow they're going to start to sell sneakers to you, you'd be like, hold on. I don't know if I'm ready to get sneakers with my French fries. Like, this is not congruent with who you are. Okay. So I want y'all to like, I wish that sometimes I could get inside people so like that we can think through some of these things, because it's not always going to be price. Okay. If McDonald's started to sell Jordans, you'd be like, there's something wrong with this picture. Like, can I eat them? Do they have my size? Does it come with other things? Right. Somebody said make sneakers. You'd be like, well, hold on a second. That's not what I came here for. So just like, it has to make sense. Okay. It has to make sense. All right. Okay. This is a really good question. How do I quell fears of changing positions after 16 years? Where do I begin? I'm in higher education. And I can stay, but I'm open also. Okay, so for whoever submitted this question, my love, I have been there. And I was in higher education as well. And there was a saying within higher education that it was like, you either stay for 3 years or you stay for 30. And at the decade mark, I was like, oh, I need to change. Like, there is something about this that, while I love higher education, I loved working with students, I loved the team that I was leading and managing. It was a lot of fun, but there were also aspects of me that just were not being tapped in the right way. And I'm trying to say this with grace. And I'm trying to say it as respectfully as I can, because I know that some of my former colleagues follow me. So, hey, y'all. But there was also the very real fact that some of the aspects of where I was and what I was doing was stifling my ability to grow, my ability to lead. And it was only giving a single side of who Susanna was, when I am a multifaceted individual, much like many of you are. So I started to get very clear around what did I want? What did I want to do with my time, talent, and attention? I know that I teach and that I teach well. I know that I'm not afraid of public speaking. I've been doing it since I was a little girl. And I knew that I have a heart for serving women of color specifically. And so I started to put that together. And the more that I ascended in higher education, the more that I started to realize that there was a need and there was a gap, because there were not very many women of color in positions of influence or decision. And if they were, there were some aspects of their work that was constantly questioned, as if they had not gone through all of the training, all of the education, all of the things to get to the level where they are. And so I felt like, I know what it is to talk about career ownership. I know what it is to feel unseen. And I know what it is to feel alone as I grew. So I wanted to create a space where women of color would feel seen, valued, heard, and equipped. And so if you look at our business and you look at our tagline, that's exactly what we stayed true to. We wanted to make sure that we were serving women of color. And in that, we serve men as well, but our heart is for women of color. But in that, we wanted to make sure that that you were seen, valued, heard, and equipped. And we wanted to make sure that it was practical in its application. Because how many of us have heard a lot of great theories, a lot of great things, but when you put the rubber to the road, it's like, this don't make no sense. Like, somebody help me. So that's why we serve the way that we do. So if you're at a point where you're trying to figure out, like, where do I go after here, after 16 years of being in the same industry? I want you to lean into the fact that yes, it's going to be scary, but you've already overcome 100% of the things that were meant to take you out. That's just reality. You've already overcome those things. And secondly, start to surround yourself with the right people. So not everybody in this season should have access to you in the same way. Because what I found a lot of was that as I was navigating this transition, people started to project their fears onto me because it was so different than what they were used to. So I had to apply pressure into who I was allowing into my space and who I was allowing and lending my ear to. Because whoever you lend your ear to will influence how you think. And then secondly, start detailing what are the aspects of the work that you enjoy and what sets your heart on fire. So like that, you have a little bit more of direction uh, towards where you want to go. So that was a really long response, but if I could dwindle it down, apply pressure to your network. Diamonds are usually formed and created out of applying pressure. Some people shouldn't have access to you in this season, and it's okay. It's not that we don't love them. It's just that right now I'm not for you. That's all. And then secondly, start to pay attention to what are the things that you enjoy and how can you incorporate that in your next move. And lastly, take messy action. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it shouldn't be, but it should be a space where you are learning. So take messy action. Okay, so we've reached our time. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you walked away with just a lot of good encouragement, practical application. If you want to join us for the next resume bootcamp, if you comment the word join, JOIN, on IG, Susanna the bot will send you the information so that you can join us on September 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And yeah, when you join, we will give you a resume template and you will get a workbook. So, like that, again, I'm big on practicality. All right. I'm going to make you feel good, but I'm also going to make you do work. I'm going to encourage you, but I'm not going to let you stay where you're at. Okay. So if you comment the word join, Susanna the bot will send you the link for you to be able to register. Upon registering, you're going to get the workbook and you're going to get the resume workbook. And the workbook, I'll show you quickly, has some information in here for you. We have a resource list for you that gives you information surrounding negotiation, where to look for negotiation stuff. I have a word bank for you so that you can replace some of the language that is on your resume and get your juices flowing. And also in the workbook, I have a list of transferable skills. See how beautiful that is? So like that, you can figure out, okay, these are the skills that I have. Where do I put them? And what else is on here? And then inside the workbook as well, I give you commonly asked interview questions, how to answer them using the STAR method. And I also give you ChatGPT prompts to help you prepare. So when I tell you, baby, that this workbook is chock full of stuff, we were holding nothing back. Remember what I said: seen and valued, heard and equipped. That's what we're trying to do. So if you comment the word join in IG, you'll be able to get the link to join us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I am dropping the link for you to join us. Y'all, I am trying to type and talk at the same time, and sometimes my brain moves so much faster than my fingers. But if you are on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, or if you are on YouTube, I just dropped the link for you to be able to join us. I love y'all. I hope you have the most amazing rest of your day and the most amazing week. And if you catch nothing else from this live, please make sure that you are operating in a place of power and don't give up your power seat. Okay. Y'all go be great. And for those of you who are registered for the boot camp, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week and take care. Y'all go be great.